So head support if you would like, and we'll start our 5th class already. Start lying down, knees bent and feet planted on the floor. Just connecting into your breath. Just start to feel the breath moving in the body. Just noticing the quality of the breath first. Notice if the breath is smooth and fluid. And then maybe an opportunity to make that breath a little smoother, a little fuller, and a little longer than when you arrived. Feel the belly rise and fall with each inhale and each exhale. This subtle movement. And then see if it's available to make that connection to the pelvic floor, the muscles of the pelvic floor. Moving in synchronicity with the diaphragm. So as you inhale, diaphragm moves down, pelvic floor muscles slightly down and away. And as you exhale, the diaphragm moves back up, and the pelvic floor muscles will gently move up and in as well. So we'll maintain that awareness for the next few breaths and try and take it into today's practice. After your next exhalation, we'll roll to our sides and make our way up to hands and knees. And we'll come into tabletop position. And shoulders over the wrists, fingers spread wide. Just moving through cat and dog or cat and cow. Inhaling as you release the belly and open the chest, and exhaling as you draw the navel up, rounding the back, moving back and forth, combining breath and movement. And just focusing on the whole spine moving. Exhaling to round, the pelvic floor will lift and gently engage. And inhaling to arch neutral. We're gonna do a couple movements sequenced together, but I'm gonna take a moment to show you downward dog in case, because it's new to our session, and it would be new for the folks at home. So one of the easiest ways to figure out where the hands go is to come down into this position. Then we come up to tabletop and we keep our hands where we reach to. We're going to bend the knees deeply and have them stay bent as we bring our body back towards our belly, towards our thighs. And then from there, you can slowly start to straighten the legs if it works in your body. But the way you know is that if you start to straighten and the upper body comes forward, then we want to keep them bent. So we may very well just keep them more bent and bicycle through a little bit, but we want to keep the chest back towards the thighs. Okay? So we'll come back down. What we're going to do here is from here we're going to exhale back to our forward hero, mark our hands, inhale to tabletop, and exhale to downward dog. And we could take a few breaths in our downward dog. When we're ready to make our way down to tabletop again, we're going to move on an inhale. And then we're going to exhale, float the hips back. Inhale back to tabletop. And exhale for another downward dog. Inhale. And then we're going to exhale, float the hips back. Mark our hands. Inhale to tabletop. And exhale to downward dog. And we could take a few breaths in our downward dog. When we're ready to make our way down to tabletop again, we're going to move on an inhale. And then we're going to exhale, float the hips back. Inhale back to tabletop. And exhale for another downward dog. When you're ready, you'll inhale back to tabletop, and you'll just move with your own breath cycle. Excellent. Let the ears or the back of the neck go long. That's it. Good. Remember to have weight into the thumb and index finger of the hand. You don't want to tilt out and lean. And then the next time we come down, we're going to rest in that forward hero position, where the buttocks are back on the heels. And we can even take the arms back alongside the body if that feels better now that the shoulders have done a whole bunch of work. Give them just a little bit of a break. And just let the breath slow down a bit again. Excellent. We'll come back to tabletop. So we're going to find a neutral spine here, and we're going to take the right leg up. And then when we're steady, we'll take the left arm. Good. Just take a couple breaths here. Then we're going to replace the left hand, and it'll be just a touch ahead of the right. We'll reach our right foot back behind us, And we're going to open up to the right to come into a side plank. We really want to lift the left side waist and that hip. So really lift from the underside. Beautiful. Really well done. And then we'll come back to our tabletop position. Good. And it will be the same thing on the other side. So now it's going to be left leg extends back, foot flexed, strong lift, right arm, nice and steady. Good breath awareness here. We'll place the right hand just in front of the left, a little bit in front. Bring the left foot back, and you can bring your right foot like a kickstand behind you if you need a little help with balance. If you want to challenge yourself more, it would stay more in line in that tabletop position. Big lift from the right side obliques or the right waist. Excellent, guys. And the hand will come back to tabletop, and then take the hips back and just take another few breaths here in this resting pose. Arms can go back or stay forward. Good. When you're ready, we'll slowly make our way to standing. And we'll come into those half sun salutations we've been doing. So we'll open up, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold deeply. Knees can bend here if needed. Inhale, strong legs to rise up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Another one. Feel free to move with your own breath. Exhale, fold. If you're breathing differently than us, or if you know this well, exhale, fold deeply. And inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll do about 3 more. Just continuing on with your breath and your movement. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Excellent. One more. See if you can connect breath to pelvic floor. Inhale, pelvic floor relaxes. Exhale, pelvic floor engages slightly. Inhale. Exhale. Excellent. Okay. We're going to step the left leg back into a warrior one position or a crescent lunge. So the heel's high. And the back toes are forward. Hands can be on the hips, they can come to cowboy surrender, or they can come up whatever feels best for you. Once you find your position, reach back through that heel, trying to straighten that leg. And this will be our inhale. When we exhale, we're going to straighten the front leg, come high on the back toes. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, long exhale up. Couple more times. Just straightening that front leg, excellent. Good. And when you finish that last one, we'll just step back, feet together. And we'll switch sides. So same thing, take a moment to get yourself stable here. If balance is a challenge, you can always take that front foot, or this time the left, over to the left more. Okay, and then hands where you like them. And same thing, this will be our inhale. And we'll exhale to lift up. Inhale. Pelvic floor and diaphragm move down, release, and exhale, they'll move up and engage, back and forth. Just combining breath and movement. Good. And a couple more there. Strong, stable feet. Excellent. Well done. Okay, for this next one, we're going to step the left leg back again. This time we're going to let the foot turn out. So we're starting in more of a warrior two position, which is my torso actually faces the long side of my mat. And then from there we'll bring the arms up. So this is going to be our inhale, and as we exhale, I'm going to tip over and stretch really long. You know, if there's anything going on in the shoulder area, this arm might just come up this way. The important thing here is that we know I'm using the strength of this arm to get my shoulder blades back on my back. So I don't get to rest into this one. It's active and there's a nice opening through my shoulder and neck. And then this will be my exhale, inhale, exhale. So the lower body won't move, okay? So we'll go ahead with that. We'll inhale here, exhale to come down, strong line of energy from the back foot to those top fingertips. Inhale brings you up, exhale, pelvic floor and core help support that movement over. Let's see if we can do one more. Beautiful. And up. Straighten that front leg. Turn the toes. We'll go right into the other side, but you can shake the legs out a little bit if they need it. Arms out, this will be our inhale, and then exhale to tip over, maybe where you like it. Traditionally it looks up under that top arm, but that may not be available in the neck. Inhale up, nice long exhale over. Keep those legs bent into your lunge position and see if you can maintain it even when we come up. And not to let the lower body change position. Excellent. Really good. We'll try for one more. Inhale up and exhale over into extended side angle. Very well done. Inhale up, straighten that leg, turn the toes, and we'll step together. Nicely done. Okay, this next one is a really great one, but it challenges us for sure. It's called clock turns, okay? So I just want to imagine that I have a clock around me, and I'm going to try, I might start tapping my foot at 2 and at 4. The trick of all this, I'll place my hands on my shoulders. The trick of it is my gaze is going to stay forward. So imagine you have something in front of you on the floor, and you're going to keep your gaze there without closing the throat. And then you're going to tap, so your body opens up to the side, but your head doesn't move. Okay, so I'm tapping at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Maybe, if my balance is good, I might tap at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So gaze forward and turn the whole chest. Yeah, turn. So it's like your shoulders stack when you turn, yeah. But then you got to keep the head forward. So if the neck is, yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? If the neck is limited, you may not be able to turn the shoulders fully. So just see what's available. Good. And we don't want too much weight. That foot's really floating. And it's this standing leg that keeps you strong. Okay, let's try and switch to the other side. It's harder than it looks.
That's why I was always smiling.
Yeah.
After myself, like, God, this is hard.
Yeah, it is hard. It's really good for proprioception, balance in movement. So get strong in this standing leg, and then start small with the taps. 2 o'clock, or now I guess it's 10 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And then when you're able, you can get a little more fluid movement going back and forth. You'll probably notice one side of the body quite different than the other. That's it, Jack, really good. Just slow and steady. Good, 1 or 2 more. Excellent. So that's a really good one to practice at home. Okay, we're going to come into tree pose. So we'll start standing on the left leg. We'll come up onto the toes of the right, and then let the knee fall out where it will, keeping the pelvis forward, and decide, maybe the toes stay down, maybe the foot comes up a little. You're going by your pelvis, so if the pelvis can stay in neutral facing forward, and you can bring that foot right up. Arms can come overhead if that feels okay. And then we're going to add a challenge here, so very slowly, once you're stable, if it's available, you're going to start to take the gaze up a little towards the ceiling, and then slowly come back down. Try and save yourself if you come out. And then we'll release. Good. Really good. And same thing on the other side. One side of the body will be different than the other. So try to start where you need to be. If your balance is challenged, go ahead and keep your toes on the ground. This will start to teach your body what needs to happen, and the body will start to remember. Gaze moves, challenging that proprioception. Come back. Gaze down. Excellent. And release. Good. We're going to move back into part of our sun salutation. So we're just going to exhale over into this fold part. We can take the feet a little bit wider apart, and we're just going to move through the inhale to lift and the exhale to fold deeper. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold, and of course the knees can bend here if they need to, especially if that helps keep the integrity of the spine long. Moving with your breath, back and forth. Excellent. One more. Great. And we'll grab our straps. Okay, we did half boat pose last week. And we're going to do the same. So we'll try and get the thighs in as close to the chest as possible. Sometimes a bit of, oh yes, we can't put the bolster behind us. That's a good reminder, just in case we head backwards. And then you'll roll back a little bit to find that place where you can balance. And the low back can round just slightly here, but we keep the heart lifting, the sternum lifting. Imagine the inner thighs are working towards each other. They don't need to touch, but the action of working towards each other. Good. And you might be able to straighten, or you might stay at half today. You can decide. Breathe. Connect to the pelvic floor. Relaxing as you inhale. And supporting you as you exhale. Good. Bring the feet down gently. And we can just bend forward slightly. Back up. If you have room for a little bit more challenge, you might start with the strap and then see if you can take it away. Or you might keep the strap there and see if you can straighten and straighten. Just see what's available. Keeping the integrity of the pose, so we want the heart to stay lifted, shoulders to stay open. Good. Excellent. Breath moving, jaw relaxed. Smile on your face because you love this. It feels good.
And then you're not supposed to be grinding your teeth.
No. And release. Excellent. Little forward fold. We can let our strap go to the side. We're going to do bridge pose, so if you have head support, you might want to just open it up one extra layer so it's a little flatter. So we're going to lift the hips up. Put a little more flexion into the neck. So lying down. Feet are about hip distance apart or in line with the sitting bones. And how far the heels are from the buttocks just depends on your own comfort, especially when you're going to lift the hips and support that movement. So inhale on your back and then exhale to lift the hips up in the air. Inhale as you come down slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Letting the tailbone touch last. Back and forth, breath and movement. Glutes can engage slightly as you're at the top of the lift. And the core and the pelvic floor are also engaging. The glutes are part of the core, so they need to help you through that movement, particularly if there's back pain as part of your day-to-day life. After this next lift, we'll slowly bring the pelvis back to the floor. And once you're lying on the floor again, we'll bring the right knee in, hug it to the belly, and then bring the left one in, hug that to the belly. And you can move, inhaling the knees away from you. Exhaling them towards you. Back and forth. Or you can even try hugging them in and just rocking side to side. Feel ready, you can stretch out into Shavasana. Taking a bolster under the legs if you need it. Support under the head if you like it. Feel the breath slow down. Helping to facilitate release and relaxation throughout the body, starting at the soles of the feet. tops of the feet and the toes. Feel everything in the feet soften. And the lower legs, the knees, and the upper legs all release. Also softening. Feel the back of the pelvis settle into your mat. Feel a sense of ease in the low belly. Breath is barely moving. The lowest part of the belly. And then the rib cage. And the chest. Everything feeling soft and open. Let that sense of release and relaxation move over the shoulders into the upper back, the mid back, and into the low back. Feel both arms relax. Upper arm, elbows, lower arm, both hands. Allow that sense of release to move up to the neck and throat, into the lower jaw. The cheeks are soft. The lips are soft. The eyes are soft. Feel the skin of the forehead smoothing out. The back of the skull resting for support. Allow the whole body to relax. The whole body to relax. Whole body to rest. toes and fingers. And we're going to disturb the body as little as possible as we slowly come up to a seated position. Sitting on a block or a bolster. See if you can challenge yourself to keep the eyes closed as you come up into any comfortable seated position. So legs can be out if they need to be, or they can be sole to sole or crossed. And then find a nice upright spine. Let the eyes close again if they did open. And so far each class we've done a breath awareness. We're now going to move into more of a body awareness. So let the mind settle into the physical body. And just try your best to become aware of the body as a whole. Try to feel the parts of the body that are touching mat or support. And then feel or imagine the parts of the body that aren't touching anything. They're just against air. And then finally feel or imagine the parts of the body that are touching other parts of the body. Become a little bit more acutely aware of the toes, the soles of the feet. The whole right foot and the whole left foot. And the whole right leg, the whole left leg. The pelvis. The abdomen. And you might even pause here and just feel the abdomen move with the breath again. Feel the front ribs. And they're probably moving with the breath as well. The chest. Both shoulders. And the whole right arm. The whole left arm. The right hand. The left hand. Feel the back of the neck and the front of the throat. The lower hinge of the jaw. The upper palate. The face. The back back of the skull, and the very top or crown of the head. Let the awareness shift slightly again. Once again, become aware of the body as a whole. Just feel into the whole body. Connect to the whole body. And we'll bring the hands together at the heart. And we'll take 2 more full breaths, exhaling out of the mouth audibly. Full inhale. One more time. Good, and we'll let the eyes open. And namaste.
Namaste.